Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. To move on to a more pleasant topic, Clayton Keller, obviously racking up the points so far in his rookie season. I've long been a big fan of his, so it's really good to see him from my perspective, jumping, headfirst into the Calder race. But in your viewings of him, is he for real? And if so, like what makes him a special player?
Like he's just relentless in getting to the puck or just making a play, and that makes him like especially really dangerous to deal with. And like what also like makes him really good for that line in particular is that he's really good at like getting into tight areas, getting to and getting multiple shots away. Like he's got really quick hands. He's a really quick player, and and defenders just can't really handle him for the most part. So he's been a very good. So he's been like a very pleasant surprise so far. Well, I wouldn't say pleasant surprise, but silver lining and
Yeah.
pretty much a terrible season.
Definitely, definitely. I'm certainly excited to see him play, up close for the first time. Kind of taking a step back and looking more at the big picture. Obviously, you track all the games, and it's pretty. I wouldn't say easy, but it's definitely easier to tell like what's going on tactically when you're going back and watching them and tracking every event. So what have you picked up regarding like Tockett's system this year, and does it seem dramatically different than what it was last year with Tippett?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty different from what Tippett was running because the main emphasis Tockett took when he came, he wanted the team to play fast, like which means he wanted the puck, like he wanted the defenseman to move the puck up the ice. No more D passes, no more hanging onto the puck in the defensive zone. He wants it out as quick as possible, and that means like having a forward. That means like having a forward at the blue line, kind of retrieving it and having him make a play with it as soon as possible, or just having him fly on. And that's kind of been what the problem is, why there's been so many defensive breakdowns early on, because the first 3, 4 games, even right now, the defensemen, they're kind of blindly throwing the puck up the boards or through the middle of the ice. That led to a few goals in that Anaheim game. And it's just like, I don't know if they're just don't have the system down right or if it's just a bad strategy because it's something that he took from Pittsburgh and somebody did well, but Arizona obviously don't have the personnel that Pittsburgh does there, so it's not gonna work as well. But I've seen it work in instances, it's just not been very. It just has not worked for this team so far. And some of his kind of injuries too. Alderich and Larson has not been healthy the entire season. And then he took a pretty bad hit in the Jersey game, and he's in concussion protocol right now. So it's kind of just a bad mixture. It was very like methodical how he wanted his team to get up the ice. He was very methodical how he wanted them to defend. Pocket wants them to attack a little more, be a little more like play a little with the puck, but they just like it just hasn't really worked out at all so far, and it's kind of just a perfect storm of everything going wrong.
Gotcha, gotcha. Changing gears a little bit, one guy who's on the Coyotes, who I've always been a fan of, even when he was with an organization that was also in the Flyers division, is Anthony Duclair. Obviously, he had kind of a mess of a season last year. Was in tons of trade rumors, but he's still with the team. How's he look so far? Is he, potentially bouncing back, or is he just going through kind of similar issues that he did last year?
Yeah, Duclair, like I feel like he does everything right until he actually has to shoot the puck because like I don't know something either he sees a guy open, he tries to press a pass, or the puck just rolls off his stick or something, or his stick breaks. That's what happened all the time last year, and it's kind of carried over into this season too. Like he's not really like when he has a chance like to get the puck on that, he doesn't really do it. Like he tries to find somebody else. He only really shoots if he has a rebound or a clear opportunity, and it's just kind of a mess so far because they need him to be like the goal scorer on his line, and he hasn't. The results just aren't there so far. But like he's posted pretty good numbers otherwise. Like he is driving play pretty well. He's a very good player in neutral. He's very good at like getting the puck in with control, which some of the Coyotes need to do if they want to play this system. And he just needs to, I don't know, he just needs to take more kind of a shoot first mentality if he wants to like get back to where he was in his rookie year.
Gotcha. I know you said Duclair. Duclair drives play. Obviously, there's been a lot of turnover with this roster, but over the past year. But is there an under the radar player that you think Flyers fans should be aware of who might have a real positive impact in this game?
Well, one guy that I was high on coming into this year was Brendan Perlini. He had a pretty good rookie season. I don't remember how many goals he scored, but he has the best shots on the team. And he's also a very good player, like in terms of like getting the puck in with control too. Like one of the few guys on the team last year that could do it. While the team was playing a dump and chase system. So I feel like he's a guy who could really excel under Tocchet and the way they're trying to play. He's been for pretty much the entire season though. So I'm very interested to see how he does. And another guy, Christian Fischer, he plays a little lower in the lineup, but someone that, like, he's someone that hangs out around the goal a lot, and he gets a lot of those garbage goals, if you want to call it.
Right.
I couldn't think of a better word for it. He capitalizes a lot on rebounds, and he's very good when it comes to just like annoying defensemen and working on the forecheck. And he's someone like in the lower part of the line that could do some damage in this game, I think.
Cool. So just one last question for you, Corey. And I think what's cool about interviewing you for this game is that not only have you obviously watched the Coyotes every game, you've also basically watched every Flyers game too with your tracking. So it's cool to ask you, since you have a really strong understanding of both teams, like where do you think the Flyers can exploit the Coyotes at? Like where should they be? What are the weaknesses that match up with what you feel are like the Flyers' strengths so far?
Well, from what I've seen, Flyers have been a very good defense team so far, and this Arizona team is absolutely terrible when it comes to getting the puck out with control and just exiting the zone in general. So defensemen, like I feel like they assembled a pretty good group of defensemen this year, but they're just all playing like garbage right now, and they just don't have anything going for them. It's been total musical chairs too, which I think also makes a difference because you don't really know what your partner is going to do. So I feel like on the forecheck, this team is just gonna be an absolute living hell for them getting the puck out of the zone, especially against that first line, because it's going to be head to head. I don't know if Ekman Larsson's going to play or not, but Hjalmarsson's had a really tough start to the season, so he's going to have his hands full with that first line, especially. And I feel like the lower part of the lineup too is going to be pretty tough for the Coyotes to deal with. The line has been really good. I saw them; they just wreaked havoc on the defense pair on Saturday night, and Arizona's third pair is just like it's rotating right now, so they don't really have any continuity there, and they're going to create a lot of problems too. So Flyers are probably going to dominate the shot clock here tonight, unless it's a score effects situation where they're sitting back the entire third period. I feel like it's going to be similar to that Florida game, or the second period at least, because Florida, like Arizona, has gotten good starts before, and they have gotten leads early in games. They just cannot hold a lead. They just cannot hold on to a lead right now or defend really. So I feel like it's going to be similar to that game, and Flyers could have a pretty big night here.
Well, we'll see. In any case, Corey, thanks so much for jumping on this preview. Definitely gave some cool insights on the players and the team and the systems. And maybe sometime later this year we'll be able to. I don't know when the next time these two teams play, but we'll circle up again.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Thanks, Corey.
Yeah, no problem.